Why hello there, welcome to my channel. Today we are going to make this particular card, which we made in a previous video, but this time we're going to add some distress ink to it and change up the ribbon. Now if you saw that last video, then you have the instructions, but if not, then I'll put the link in the description down below. So today we're going to use the Tim Holtz Distress Ink in Pumice Stone and also Victorian Velvet, and we'll use those on this particular sentiment card that says congratulations. Now I'm using things from my stash, so I've had them for quite a while, but I will link product descriptions down below for whatever it is that I can find that's still on sale. Now we're going to start this part of the project with a Velcro ink holder and also our Victorian Velvet Distress Ink. And so these holders here, they have Velcro on them, so they basically hold the pads right on. So I'm going to take that one off, a little bit of ink there on my fingers, and I'm going to take out the one that I have reserved just for my Victorian Velvet ink. Take it out of my little package and just pop that right on there like that. There wasn't too much ink on there, plus, you know, it's pink, so it doesn't show up too well. Here is my Victorian Velvet ink pad, and I'm just going to put some on it and then rub it off just a little bit to see exactly where the color is at. It's been a while since I've used it, and then slowly circle it onto my project, all over my project. Now here is a embossed brick pattern onto the paper that I've used. My paper here is around 3 3/4 inches by 5 1/4 inches, and I'm going to be able to put that onto a paper base, and I'm just putting the distress ink onto it all around the surface so that it will give a kind of pinkish reddish base to it, and then I'll be able to put my other color on top of it. So here we're just making it all pink, and it's catching both the embossed lines of the bricks, but also those details as well of the little kind of raised dots within it to give it that real brick feel. So this card here is going to be congratulations on a new home for some friends, and I've used these this pink and sort of grayish brown color for this particular design, but you can use whatever distress ink colors you have in your house. It's really about the background of the brick that really makes it about being for a new home, so feel free to use something else that looks a little bit different from what I'm using here. So I think distress ink isn't the only thing you could use here. You could also use some chalks if you have them in your stash, or even pencil crayons or charcoal crayons as well. That would also work. Now here what I decided to do was that the white in the background needed just to be a bit darker. So I'm taking my ink applier and basically blotting it in with the ink on it so that it makes those actual bricks look just a little bit darker. And I'll show it to you here in a second, I think just a little closer to the camera. Now the look I'm going for here is distressed, obviously because I'm using the ink, but it's weathered brick wall. That's what I'm looking for here in this particular for this particular card. The other one, the one that I did before with the white tone on tone had a cleaner look to it, but this one here just feels a little bit more weathered. And I've taken my sentiment and I'm going around the outside of it using my ink applicator and that Pumice Stone ink, distress ink, to bring a little bit of an edge to the outside of it, making sure that I'm hitting all of the curves and swerves of that sentiment strip. So after I put that down and let it sit for a moment, I kind of changed and I thought I was done. I sort of took a look at it for a moment or two and thought, no, I'm not done. It doesn't have quite enough differentiation between the background, and I went back in with my applicator and put on some more ink so that it looked like this and just had a little bit more separation between the background and the sentiment. Here I have my ribbon. It's my silver ribbon that I'm using for this particular project, and I realized I didn't show you me cutting it again, but honestly it's cutting ribbon. So it is just a 5 1/8 ribbon from Michaels, and it's sheer, and I really like this stuff, and I have a lot of it for my business. So I'm putting it on with double-sided Sookwang tape here. I love this stuff. It really works well with ribbon. It keeps it in place, and it's going to make it so that your ribbon does not shift. I made sure that I lined up both of the sides for the ribbon on either end so that it looks straight once you turn it over like this. And I just like to use these cheapy double-sided sort of pop dot dimensional type things on it that I just pick up at the dollar store. They have lots, both here in Canada I go to the Dollarama, but then there's also a buck or two, and I find that these work whether you use those inside kind of dots or also the waist part of it. It just makes it so that it works for me, and I like to just pop them onto the back and give it some dimension onto my card there. And I'm going to take all of the backgrounds off and then pop it onto my card, making sure that it is perfectly aligned both in the center from right to left and then also from top to bottom. Oh, there's the ribbon. There's my ribbon thing from Michaels. The next part here is to take the card background that we've got and then put it onto the card base. So again, I'm going to take out my handy dandy Sookwang tape, double-sided tape, and put it all around the edges, and making sure it's as close to the edge as possible, except for this part where I already had some that was from the ribbon there. And I stuck some in the middle. I'm going to take it off and then do sort of a tab type thing where I only pull it down part way. So it gives me a bit more leverage when I'm putting it onto the card base itself, just as you can see here. And there's my card base. I make sure that it is facing the right direction because many a card has been damaged by not putting on the card background onto the card base in the right direction. So here you can see I'm kind of positioning myself with the card background and onto the card base, lining it up, making sure that it is the right amount of space that I want on the outside. And when I've got it, I'm able to take each of those tabs out and then press down gently to make sure that the card background is adhered to the card base the way that I want it to be, and that it will not come off no matter what. And with that last step, this video is done. I hope that you enjoyed watching it. I hope that you found it useful for your card making. I'm glad that the card turned out the way that it did, and it has headed off to its recipients in Nova Scotia to welcome them to their new home. If you enjoyed the video, please consider liking it and subscribing to my channel so you can see more videos like this. And remember, I hope you find joy in your card making and community in your card giving.